What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new album from Reason called New Beginnings. Now, Reason is a rapper from Carson, California who signed to TDE, and back in 2018 I reviewed his project called There You Have It. I thought that was actually pretty dope because he was getting introspective, insightful, and telling some stories, so I was pretty curious to hear how this album would sound, because I think it is considered his debut. I think There You Have It was a mixtape. There was a bit of confusion I had with that one because it was re-released and all this other stuff, but this is the big one that I think people were waiting for, and TDE has really been pushing this forward. So things have been pretty quiet for TDE so far in 2020, so I was curious to see if this album would take the charge, and honestly it was pretty good, but I gotta say, this thing gets off to a damn slow start in my opinion. It begins with Something More. This one is decent, it's very smooth and soulful as Reason is opening up with one long verse about his come up and struggle. You got this R&B lace beat, and the whole thing just really kind of reminds me of like a Drake track. That's the vibes that I was getting here. And then we have the song Stories I Forgot and Favorite Nigga, which are pretty flavorless bangers that don't really have anything interesting going on, with the exception of that cracking voice flow he uses on Stories I Forgot. I thought the hooks on these songs were kind of stale though. Really, the production wasn't anything that great. And it's the same thing with the song Showstop, where even in spite of the Kendrick Lamar backup vocals, this one doesn't stick out much at all either. So right out of the gate, I wasn't liking these first couple of tracks, although I would say Pop Shit was decent because it's a grimy banger that gives us a jolt of personality from Schoolboy Q. Even though it's still not a track that I would come back to, it's still alright though, and I did like it better than those other ones I spoke on. But we can fast forward a bit to the song Sauce, featuring a decent feature from Vince Staples. This is just another banger that's kind of non-distinct. It plods along slowly, it has another boring hook. That is a constant thing on this album, man. I thought the hooks on this were pretty weak, and the production in spots was just uninspired, especially with these bangers, because after hearing Savage Mode 2 and just how hard the production went on that with all the layers and switch ups and extra instruments, listening to some of these bangers just paled in comparison, man. I'm not saying they need to be compared, I'm just being honest with you, because that Savage Mode 2 was hitting different, whereas the bangers here were pretty stale. But we did get the song Flick It Up. I would say this is one of the better bangers because Reason is ripping some rapid flows on here. You also have Absol, who goes hard as he normally does, but one line that made me laugh on here is when Reason spits, "Coming up as a kid, I was trying to be Jay, I was trying to be Ye, I was trying to be Wayne. Now kids say they trying to be Reason." I'm not even trying to be a hater, but I don't think any kid out there is saying that. I mean, maybe there is a kid somewhere saying that. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world, but I haven't heard that. That felt like a bit of a stretch, especially putting his name up there with those guys, but I can respect his confidence. That's what most rappers are like, so it is what it is. But thankfully, man, I think the second half of this album does get much better, and I ended up liking it much better than I thought I was going to after making it through the full album, because after that first stretch, I was like, man, this is really not going well, but thankfully it does get better. Starting with the song I Can Make It, you're getting a bit of a slinky G-Funk feel to the production here, and a great feature from Rhapsody as expected. I think these two played off each other nicely, and she was killing it on here. Definitely a standout moment. And the song Fall has a cool concept, as Reason is rapping about the struggles that rappers face as they're trying to come up in the game. I especially appreciate that verse where he's breaking down how it is for women, and just how they have to deal with different struggles than men, because you got people out there who just want to fuck you, they're trying to get you to get surgery and all those things. Really was a thoughtful verse. I appreciated this song overall. And then with the song Windows Cry, we're getting a similar feel, because once again he is speaking about the artist's struggle. This one is interesting too though, because he's focusing more on himself, what it's like being signed to TDE, just dealing with those label pressures and all the drama and nonsense that can go on when you're signed and you don't have full control of things. So I thought that was an insightful look into his process. That was a great song, and I think these songs where he does go deeper, these are the moments that showcase Reason at his best. That's what I liked about that There You Have It project, and that's what I like on this album here, including on the song Slow Down, because on this one he's touching on a wide variety of topics, including how he got much of his musical inspiration from his cousin's trials and tribulations. Dope track, another jazzy boom bap beat, so that was an instant favorite for me right there. And honestly, I think Reason sounds more comfortable in that type of production, the smoother, more laid back stuff, because those bangers, just to come back to that for a second, those ones did not feel as natural to me. They felt a little bit forced, just for the sake of giving people bangers, and I can certainly appreciate that. I'm sure some some people really did like those ones. I thought they were kind of stale, just to reiterate that point, but there are some more smooth moments here that I think are much more fitting to Reason's style, like the soulful joint Gossip, where he addresses all the drama and gossip surrounding him, whether it's coming from his city or even his family. He speaks on how he's worried about them bringing his skeletons out of the closet and talking shit on him. Thought that was an interesting moment. And then on Westside, we get a smooth duet with Mariba, just a lovey-dovey joint, man. This one is very vibey, it feels good, one of my favorite songs for sure. These songs are definitely when Reason is at his best, in my opinion. And since I have talked about some of the features on here, obviously I got to talk about the song Extinct, where Jid and Isaiah Rashad join him for a little posse cut bar fest. I thought this was a dope track too. You're getting this twangy production, and it was just nice to hear from Isaiah Rashad, since you don't hear from him very often. He had a great line on his verse too, when he says, "They want to touch me like undercovers and anacondas before you fucking go purchase your Gary Paytons." Obviously, I'm not delivering that line as well as he did, but I appreciate that, because Gary Payton is one of my favorite basketball players of all time. Used to play for the Sonics back when I liked them, and they had Detlef Schrempf. They also had Sean Kemp, man. They were a great team. If you played NBA Jam, you know Seattle Supersonics were fucking shit up. But anyway, Gary Payton's nickname was the Glove because of his defense. So in this instance, obviously Reason is talking about gloves, condoms. You know what I'm getting at here. That's what that one's all about. So, you know, this was a pretty solid album. It started off very slow for me. Thankfully, I did like some of those songs on the second half, which helped balance it out. But in the end, I'm still going to go with a 6.5 out of 10. I almost went with a 6 here, but that second half really did uplift it for me. I think there is some good content here. I do like some of the smooth production. But overall, I did find this project to be a little bit dry, a little bit inconsistent, and there's not too much that's distinct about Reason as a rapper. He does have a little bit of a raspiness to his voice, which is cool, but I didn't come out of this album feeling like I wanted to rant and rave about how dope it is. There are moments I like, it's cool, I enjoyed a handful of tracks, but that's about it, and I don't see myself talking about it much in a couple of months when I'm making my year-end list. So that's how I feel about this one. You guys let me know down below how you feel, because I always want to know, and make sure you do that good YouTube and social media stuff where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.